Good morning, everyone. On the behalf of SR Developer Community, I am excited to welcome to expert talk on Microsoft Azure for developers from idea to cloud in 90 minutes. In today's rapidly evolving tech landscape, cloud computing has become the foundation for building scalable, innovative, and secure solutions. As a developer, understanding Azure opens up endless opportunities for deploying applications to exploring cutting edge services like AI, machine learning, and DevOps. In this session, this is designed to help you to transfer your ideas into reality using Azure all within just 90 minutes. My name is A. Satvik. I am delighted you to be a co-speaker today. I am passionate about working on a cloud-based and AI-driven solutions, and I am thrilled to learn and grow alongside you in the session. Now, it's my absolute honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today's Mr. Krunal Trivedi sir. Mr. Krunal is an international trainer, author, and community leader who has inspired countless developers around the globe. He is a Microsoft certified trainer, a Microsoft MVP in Azure, and a driving force in the Azure AI Foundation at the PurpleSkill. With years of experience in cloud computing, this helps in helping developers build, deploy, and scale modern applications on the Azure. Welcome, Mr. Krunal Trivedi, sir, to lead this existing session. Before we dive in this, encourage everyone to stay engaged, ask questions in the chat, and take full advantage of these unique learning opportunities. Now, I over to Mr. Krunal, sir.
Hey, thank you so much, Satvik. Hello, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, SR University. I'm Krunal. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer, MCT, as well as MCT India Regional Lead. I'm also Microsoft MVP for Azure and AI for last 8 years. I'm in the corporate training field for last 15 years, and I deliver training sessions on various Microsoft as well as non-Microsoft technology stack on various IT industry and various IT organizations pan India across the globe. Right, I'm a speaker for international conferences. I authored the book. You can see my book title. It is here in the screen. And again, I welcome you all for this today's fantastic session on getting started with Microsoft Azure for developers. I would like to thank all of you. I would like to thank Satvik for all of its hard work, and he was continuously in contact with me. He was trying to get this session done very quickly, and yes, kudos to its efforts. At the same time, I welcome you all. Friends, please feel free to put the questions in the chat box. Right, we'll make the session very, very interactive. And with this, let me start the session, friends. What I'm going to do to make the session live, interactive, and engaging, right? And even for you guys, you should get a feel that you learned something. I'm not going to use heavy PPT, heavy slides or something. This is the only slide what I have created. That is my intro slide. But rest everything, I will give you one live classroom session feeling. So what I will do, I'm going to write everything here in the notepad, OneNote, and later on I'm going to share this thing with you all also, right? And yes, as Karthik Satvik has mentioned, we will give you certification also, right, Satvik? The participation certificate for the users who are going to attend the session, the full session. And what we will do, Satvik, if time permits, right, at the end of the session, we'll go for some quiz, right? And the
Okay, sir.
top 3 winners of the quiz we'll send some goodies to them, right, from the PurpleSkill, right? And we will send some nice goodies back packet to them. So what I will do, even during the session, at the end of the session, before the quiz, I will share you one form where participant has to fill in their details. So their name, address, and all, their graduation year and all those stuff, college first year SY, whatever it is, and we will send goodies to them also. So friends, please be with me throughout the session. End of the session, we'll play the quiz, and first three winners of the quiz will get the goodies also, right? So this is what you are going to do. So with this, let me start the session, friends. So what is Azure, friends? What is Azure, first of all, and why developers should care about Azure? So in next 90 minutes, I will show you how a developer can take an idea and bring it to life using Microsoft Azure. It is also you can say it's like from prototype to production. You have an idea in mind, you develop some mini project, minimum viable product, or sample your first version of the product. You want to make it live, you have to host it to cloud, and that's it. That is what from prototype to production. That's what we are going to discuss in this next 90 minutes, right? One more thing, the session is designed for beginners. So as you guys are the first year and second year college students, we are going to start from very scratch. But believe me, Azure is an ocean, right? Azure and Azure AI is the future. So from the first year onwards, I strongly recommend you to work with Azure even in your free time. Learn Azure AI. You can go to my what you can say channel, this PurpleSkill channel. I hosted lots of AI videos. You can go through it very frequently. We do free YouTube live, so you can come and you can join those YouTube live, right? So yes, this is what the feature is. So now the first point we are going to discuss is what is Azure and why developers should care about it. What is Azure and why developers should care about it? So Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform with more than 200 services. So it is a cloud platform provided by Microsoft with more than 200 plus services. Again, friends, what is the meaning of service here? What is the meaning of service? Service is nothing but the functionality what you try to deploy in your daily life. So that is what the service is. You want to create the database, so we have a service to deploy the database. You want to create the web app, we have a service to deploy the web app. You want to create a storage, we have the service to deploy the storage. So what functionality you want to implement in your project, in your code, in your organization, that is provided in form of a service. So that is what the concept here. Azure gives us ability to build, deploy, and scale these services without worrying about physical servers. So it gives us ability to build, deploy, and scale applications or services without worrying about physical servers. Now I tell you one thing, friends. What is the meaning of this line? Say you are the university, and in general we have very less or moderate traffic on our university website, right? But say during the day of the result or during the day of the admission, we have huge traffic on our university website. So what we have to do in general, we need to scale the infrastructure of the server where our website is hosted. So if my website is running for 8 GB of RAM machine with say i7 and with some storage, and I realized that there is huge traffic on my website, I have to scale it. For that, I have to purchase the infrastructure, physical infrastructure. I need to purchase the new RAM. I need to scale up the RAM power. I need to scale up the processing power. I need to scale up the storage power. And my website works smoothly. Say for example, you have invested X amount of money. Say you have invested 10,000 rupees to scale up the infrastructure. Now next day, again, result day is gone. We have less and moderate traffic, and this traffic would be there continuously for 1 year. Again, then in next year when you get the new admission and new result, you get the heavy traffic. So understand the point here. You are investing money on the physical infrastructure for a particular time, and then that infrastructure is not used. So cloud, Azure says, you are not going to worry about your physical infrastructure. You are not going to worry about physical servers. You just write your product, you write your website, you write your database, and host it on our own physical machine. Those machines we are going to take care, and we give you a switch. Switch is nothing but your Azure portal. So whenever you want to scale up, okay, now again is the result day. I want to scale up my RAM from 8 GB to 16 GB. It's fine. You just come to the Azure portal. You choose the appropriate RAM size, what you want to do, appropriate your virtual machine compute, what you want to scale up, and you just click on save, and it will be updated. Again, next day, you want to scale down, you can scale down. So now think about all this e-commerce website. I'm giving you one practical use case. Say for example, Amazon, Flipkart, they are running a sale and they have holiday season. So during the sale day and holiday season, we would have a lot of traffic on the website. So they need to scale up the infrastructure. But then in normal day, there would be less or moderate traffic. Even say midnight 2 to morning 5, there would be very less traffic. Same thing for Ola and Uber and other cab providers. During the office peak hours, there would be heavy rush, heavy traffic, heavy load of the cabs. And during the afternoon hours or midnight hours, there is less traffic. So instead of investing in physical infrastructure, what they can do, they can come on Azure, they can host. So now we say when I put my code, my website on cloud, it is known as hosting. So we can host our workloads. Workload means what? One more thing here. When we are talking about cloud, always remember this technical terms, friends. Workloads. So your website, database, code, service, storage, anything is known as a workload, right? So you can take your workload and host it on the cloud. Now this is what I'm talking about. I am talking about deploying the workload in the cloud. But it allows us to build this workload in the cloud also. So that means even for development purpose, you don't want to purchase a new laptop. Now what happens in organizations? Say you need a physical dedicated server, right? And for a customer to develop a prototype, to showcase that prototype to the customer, you don't want to procure a new computer, new infrastructure to your developers. So again, in that case, we can create a physical machine in cloud. And then your developers can log into that machine. They can do the entire development work, and that's it. So here what you need, Here you need only internet connection and the browser and Azure account. So if you have Azure account, you just open the browser, you just and go to the Azure portal, you log in, then you create a virtual machine, you do your code, close the machine, that's it. Even many of the times I use it. Say for example, I have to deliver some training. Now for that training I need certain software. Meanwhile, I have another batch also. They need the different version of the softwares. Instead of configuring everything in my machine, what I do is I create multiple virtual machines. And when we create multiple virtual machines, so for the particular training delivery, I log into that machine and I deliver training. I write my code to that machine. And for another training, again I log into another virtual machine. This is also heavily used in market, And I tell you, in real time, in today, we have a concept of hosted labs. Say today you are in SR University, and tomorrow you want to go to iPhone development training. Now your university lab has to install iPhone development packages, SDKs in each and every lab machine. Then next week they want to go for Android development training. They have to install Android specific SDKs and softwares to each and every machine. Then you need .NET training, you need Java training. So instead of every week doing this installation, they can go to some hosted lab where they create even virtual machine on the cloud. They install the packages and they give the URL to the student, so student can log into those machines and they can work on it. So this is what you can build the application on cloud, you can deploy the application on cloud, and you can scale, right? You can scale also. Again, when we talk about scaling the application, that is out of our syllabus. I mean, it's not possible to do this thing here in this 90 hours, but 90 minutes, but we can say when we talk about scaling, we have two types of scaling. One is scale up and second one is scale out. So we can write scale up and down, and second one is scale out, scaling. Now what is the meaning of scale up and down? So the concept is what, friends? So concept is what? Say we have 8 GB of machine, and now I increase the RAM power. I increase the RAM power from 8 GB to 16 GB. So that is scale up. I have certain processor and I increase the processing power, so that is scale up. But now each and every machine has a capacity. Each and every machine has a capacity, right? I can from 8 GB, I can do 16 GB. From 16 GB, I can do 32 GB. From 32, but then what? Then there is a maximum capacity reach out. So in that case, what we do, we create a new machine, that is scale out. That is scale out, right? So we have scale up, that is vertical scaling, and scale out, that is horizontal scaling. So now what I do, I have one machine of 16 GB RAM. We have reached to the maximum scaling. Then we just create the second machine, then third machine. So this way we have 3 machines are running. They are scale out, horizontally scaled. And whenever a request come to my machine, I can use load balancers. Again, in Azure, we have various types of load balancers. So that is the another thing. And Satvik was talking to me. We'll do one session on this thing also. Various Azure load balancing techniques we'll discuss. But yes, so scale out means we scale horizontally, and then we deploy the machine. So when a request comes, it would be forwarded to machine 1 or forwarded to machine 2 or forwarded to machine 3. So that is what it gives us ability to build, deploy and scale application or services without worrying about physical servers. So you have the idea what is build, deploy and scale concept, right? Okay. But now the question is why developers should developers care for it? Because with Azure, say because with Azure, you can host your web application with a few clicks that I am going to show you. You can host a web application with few clicks. You write your code, within few clicks your application will go to live, right? We can also deploy APIs and microservices. APIs are RESTful service. But very simple. We have say Make My Trip or we have say Yatra.com, and they want a train timetable from Indian Railway. So Indian Railway might create a web API and they give this web API URL to Make My Trip and Yatra.com. So you go to Make My Trip. From Make My Trip, it will make a call to your Indian Railway API. You get the data. That is API. And microservice, it is the architectural pattern. Here we break down our single application to small modules. Each module is treated like an independent project. If we talk about some net banking website, right, say we have XYZ bank. Now in general in net banking website we have 5-6 common functionalities. If you go to any net banking website, we have registration module where you user register for the bank website. Even we have the sign in module over there. Then we have say payment initiation module. So I want to send a payment to someone. I need to add payee, account number, Swift code, blah, 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 right? So that is what a payment initiation. Then we apply for the credit card. So that is the credit card application. We apply for the loan. That is what the loan application, right? Sometimes we want to do the trade. That is the trade deal. So these are the 5-6 common modules. Now what a bank team can do, they can break down this module as a separate project. And one project is given to few members, one project is given to few members, one project is given to few members. So all projects are developed independently, they would be hosted independently. If you go to Netflix is also developed in the way of microservice architecture. We have registration module, we have streaming module, we have search module, we have payment module. Now if you understand, registration module is not heavily used. Every day we are not going to deal with registration module. Every day we are not going to deal with payment module. But yes, every day the streaming module and the searching module are used very frequently, right? So that is what applications are developed as a small independent project. So even say one module is down, it is possible. If today registration module of Netflix is down, so no new users cannot register, but the existing users can still search for the video, search for the movie and watch the movie. So that is the concept here, right? Modules are deployed independently. So here Azure allows you to deploy API as well as microservices. It can store and analyze data at scale. It provides us the mechanism to store the data. Again, here we have two things. We have object storage. We have NoSQL storage. We have RDBMS, your relational database management system. So in object storage, we can store blobs. It is binary large object. So here I can write, we have blobs, binary large objects. We have table, queues, file share. When we go for the table storage, like this. So when you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint document, you have PDF, you have images, you have videos, you have database, you have your virtual hard disk. So all those things you want to store, you can store in form of a blob. If you have the tabular data, but not relational, tabular, everything is there in the single table, first name, last name, email, blah, blah, blah. So you can go for the table storage also. When you want to implement message queuing, so you can go for the queue storage. Now, what is message queuing, friends? Please understand, Say you have your one application. Okay, let's say we have our website. User log into that website and perform some search. So what we want to do, say next time when user log into the website, we want to recommend suggestions based on his previous search. So in that case, when user log into my website, I take his ID and I take the product what he has searched for, and I will store it in the queue. Queue is just like, say, one number. We know what is queue. It is first in, first out mechanism. We store it in the queue. So in that case, what happened? Say user 1 has searched for an iPhone. Now I have some another application running. So I have some another application running there. And what that application can do, say, it will take the message from the queue and process it. It will take the message from the queue and process it. So now it will take, this is the user ID who will search for iPhone. Now that backend application will take that message from the queue, do the processing and show similar product to the user. So when next time he log in, he can see that these products are searched for, are recommendation for you. So that we can do even using queue. It is message queuing system. And file share, right? They are just like your physical drive that you can mount to any physical machine or virtual machine, like a shared drive. In your university, college, organization, we have shared drive, right? So where we have the, if we have the access, we can have an access of that shared drive, right? So in that case, what we can do, I create one shared drive, and in all my lab machines, I can mount that shared drive. So users can create document to that shared drive. Even the copy of the document would be available in the cloud also. So that is what object storage. NoSQL, we have Azure Cosmos DB. That is again huge umbrella. We are not going to discuss it. Rapidly scale multi-ton NoSQL database mechanism. And RDBMS, that is what SQL Server, Azure Managed SQL Servers, that is what your RDBMS system is also there. So Azure even provides you the mechanism to store and analyze data at scale. Azure also provides you, say, AI and machine learning services. So the thing is what? Now this is again a huge topic, right? There are two things, AI and machine learning. So first of all, friends, you should always keep in mind that AI and machine learning both are different. AI is a huge umbrella, and machine learning comes underneath it. I mean, Azure, what we have three categories. It is nowhere mentioned, but that is this way you can remember it very easily. So we have, say, Azure AI Services, also known as Azure Cognitive Services. Here we have services for computer, we have vision services, we have language services, we have decision services, we have speech services. So these are the various pre-built services are given. You can use this service, you can use the endpoint of this service like an API. So you are creating a front end. In your front end, you have one file upload button where user upload the image and you click on the submit button. Your request will go to this API, say Vision API, and Vision API will detect the objects from the image and gives you the response back. So it is just plug and play API. Or user upload the image and you want Vision service to generate a text or a tag or one-liner tag for that image, it will do for you. You upload the image and you want to Vision service to extract the data from that image like OCR capability. Yes, that we can do from here. Or you upload the invoice and you want Vision service to extract that structure information. That is also possible. That is Vision service. You upload a dense document and you want to create the summary of the document, that we can do with the help of language service, summarization. Or you upload the document and you want your service to extract key phrases from the document. That is also with the help of language we can do key phrase extraction. You have the survey for the coffee shop and you want to detect that survey is positive, negative, or neutral. That is also possible. That is again language service. Now you want to provide customized offer to the user based on some criteria that comes from the decision service. In decision we have personalized service. Or you want to detect that credit card transaction is irregular or the fraudulent, that also you can do. That is decision service. We have speech service. Again, what is speech service? Live language translation, right? For the YouTube video, it generates the text and caption, that is speech to text. And for your text, they generate the speech, that is text to speech. So that is what, with the help of speech service. Now these services are pre-built, as I'm mentioning. You are not going to write a code to develop this service. You will just take URL, you will just take API and consume it, and you will just put it in your code and you can make your normal application AI powered application. That is Azure AI services. Second one is Azure OpenAI services. And to work with Azure OpenAI services, even in future, Azure AI service and Azure OpenAI services both will get at one place, Azure AI Foundry portal. But what we have under Azure OpenAI services, so here we get OpenAI models like GPT models, Tally models, Codex models, all in your Azure environment. So now understand, you develop your normal web application In few clicks, you deploy it to the cloud, and you can integrate that application with OpenAI models. So now you want to create a chatbot, or you want to create some service which gives some suggestion to the user. So what you can do, you can create a web application, deploy it to the cloud. Take the user is going to enter the value in the text box. You take that value, then you give it to Azure OpenAI models, GPT models. It will understand the context, content, and intent and give you the response. That is what ChatGPT is doing, right? So we have various models in cloud, but with enterprise grade security, scalability, and compliances. Say you are a pharma industry, you are working in a pharmaceutical industry, you are working in a pharma company. You want to develop some application which takes the patient's information and suggest a disease, also suggest the medical elements which we can use to cure those diseases, right? So you need to follow HIPAA compliances, and you are not aware of it, right? You can develop the application, you take the input from the user, you can show suggestions also, show the medicines also in recommendation, but all these things should come under government compliances. We have HIPAA compliances. You are not aware of it, then how you will develop it? So with Azure OpenAI, we get compliances, scalability, security, everything, and you can create your normal application. You can use normal Azure services. You can integrate them with Azure AI services and Azure OpenAI services. But here, in both the cases, this Azure AI service and Azure OpenAI service, in both the cases, this is what? This is pre-built models. You want to create your own machine learning model from scratch. You want to create your own model from scratch. So that time we go for machine learning services. So here you build your machine learning models from scratch. Then you can deploy, you can test, you can have your own endpoint. And even if you don't know what machine learning algorithm you are going to use, are you going to use classification? Are you going to use regression? Again, in classification, what all algorithm comes over there, you are not aware of it. So that time, even it gives you a drag and drop kind of UI. You just take each and every object. This is the data set. From data set, we take the data. Data will go to this algorithm. This algorithm is going to perform this logic. Now for this logic we are going to have this type of threshold, accuracy, and all those stuff. It's all drag and drop. It will guide you. So that's what here we have this AI and machine learning services also for Azure, and Azure also allows you DevOps. Capability. Here we have Azure DevOps, where we have Azure bots, Azure repos, Azure pipeline, and lot of things, right? Plus we have support for GitHub, Bitbucket, GitHub Dropbox, local Git. Today I will show demo with local Git, right? And other modern developer tools. So in short, if you have an idea, you want to take it to the production from day one onwards, From day one onwards, you are working in collaboration, we are working in a team, you are the 5 students from the university. But from day one onwards, you want to work like a real-time development environment. Azure gives you everything. It gives you everything what a startup need, what CMM level 5 company needs, what top 100 Fortune company needs, or what a university student need. It gives you everything. So that's why I strongly believe you cannot ignore Azure. If you are in IT industry, Azure is there for you, right? Now, one most important thing, all these things we get, that is fine. That is totally fine, right? But what about pricing? So the big advantage here is pricing, right? You can pay, you only pay for what you use. It is pay as you go pricing mechanism. So if you are going to use a storage mechanism, a blob storage of particular capacity for 2 hours, so you are going to pay only for those 2 hours. If you are going to use you are going to host your web application on Azure for 1 month, say you want to run some small campaign. Again, to run that small campaign, you're not going to purchase physical server and you're not going to hire the entire infrastructure team over there. You want to run that campaign for 1 month. So that time, again, you can go to the Azure, and for 1 month, what all services you consume, you are just going to pay for those services. So that is what known as pay as you go. Again, we have various offers here. If you say, okay, I am already having Windows Server license, they give you discount for your existing license also. You say, I want to use it for next 1 year. Okay, and I want to pay upfront. Can you give us some discount? Yes, that is also possible. But that is what pay as you go offering here, right? But for student, it gives you a free account with $200 credit. So if you are the student, you want to use Azure, you want to learn Azure, they give you, for students, Azure gives you $200 credits. In form of a free account that you should definitely try. Later on, I'm going to upload this document in the comment section. You can take it and I'll mention the link. From there, you can sign up for your account. I'll upload the steps also. So you can, as a student, you can sign up and you can get this facility, right? So that is the various pricing tiers here, various pricing offers. And one more thing we should keep in mind. So Azure gives us everything, right? Azure gives us everything. But where it's going to host? So Azure has a mechanism of data centers. These data centers are nothing. These data centers are very huge. And we have data centers across the globe. Across the globe, we have lots of data centers. For example, just to keep in your mind, just to give you an idea, you can understand that data center is like a big IT park, right? In that IT park, we have lots of buildings. In the buildings, we have lots of floor. In each floor, we have lots of racks. On each rack, we have our physical element like RAM or hard disk. That is what your data center is. I will also share you the link. With the help of that link, you can have a virtual tour of data center. So that link also I'm going to put in the comment section, right? And if you go to those data centers, in those data centers, Azure hosts our workloads. So when I say create a 4 GB RAM machine for you, it is going to create that machine physically in the data center. It is like in my home, I create the machine and I give you the URL. So you are not going to worry about the electricity or the manual management of the machine or manpower. You are just concerned about your virtual machine that you get in form of a URL, right? And these data centers are available across globe. That is known as region. So Azure has data center in each and every region. We have say East US region, we have East US 2 region, we have West US region, we have Central US region, we have South India region, we have Central India, we have West India. So these all are the various region where Azure has the data center. Again, to gives us reliability, high availability, that what happens if one data center is down. So today you create your workload in say East US data center, and due to some reason if East US data center is down, then what happens? It comes under high availability and business continuity. Also we can say BCDR, business continuity and disaster recovery. So to achieve all those things, we have to understand lots of things like availability set, availability zone, regional pair. Lot of things are there, but yes, I'm just giving you an overview that how these data centers are managed. And in this data center, Azure is going to upload all its physical workloads, or our physical workloads, right? Now, one key point to keep in mind. If you are deploying the workload to the Azure, which would be used by your team, what you should do, you should choose the nearest data center. So here we get data in speed. Latency would be less, right? We get very fast response. So I'm here and I'm going to deploy my virtual machine in East US region. So it will take a time from my request to go from these to East US and from East US to this region, correct? But if I deploy it in Central India region, so I get very speedy response. So you should always choose a region which is near to your end users, to the users who are going to use this product. If you are creating e-commerce website and your user tally is say in Europe, then you should deploy it in the European region data center somewhere, right? So this is how it works. This is what the data centers, regions. We understand pricing, we understand regions, we understand very basics of Azure. But now let me give you some core Azure building blocks. So from some core Azure building blocks, right? So before I show you a demo, a simple Python application I deploy in Azure in few clicks. Before we do that demo, I am going to show you some basic, some analogy. I'm going to explain you some terminology over there, right? So first one, when you are working with Azure, you should first understand about subscription. What is subscription? So subscription is the boundary. Boundary for what? So with the help of this subscription, Azure is going to decide your you can say billing. Second thing is your permission. Whatever you deploy in Azure, it is inside one subscription. I can set a permission on the subscription level. I can say you are using this subscription, then you can create virtual machine up to only 4 core. You cannot exceed cores. You cannot deploy virtual machine in China region. So that is what I can do all these things on subscription level. And end of the day, also we can say quotas. That is important. End of the day, your bill would be generated against the subscription based on your pay as you go offer or whatever offer you are using with. Even how many virtual machines you can create in one subscription, how many IP address you can have in one subscription. For few of the resources, we have the soft limit. So Azure says, for example, you can have 10,000 virtual machine per region per subscription. 10,000 virtual machine per region per subscription. Now it could be a soft limit, so you can go to the Azure portal, you can raise a ticket, you can put the region, they can increase it. I was running with one offer where I can create up to 25 public IPs. So I just go to the Azure portal and I raise a ticket, and then they increase my range. Even sometimes even no need to raise the ticket. You can directly go and you can increase the quota. That is the default quota, that you can increase the quota also. Sometimes there is a hard limit that you cannot. It's like a wall. You cannot break that wall. Soft limit is like a window, right? So that is what the quotas. So all these things comes under subscription. To work with Azure, you need a subscription. So in short, what happens, you have your user ID or say email ID. On this email ID, you get Azure subscription. Again, when you get Azure subscriptions, internally it will create one object in Microsoft Enter ID. Previously known as Azure AD, Azure Active Directory. But this is what subscription. And all your quotas, permissions, everything is working around the subscription. In Azure, everything is working around subscription. Now, under subscription, we have resource group. What is the resource group? It is a logical grouping of resources. It helps you to group the resources together. As a result, we can move the resources together, we can delete the resources together, we can set role-based access control on the resources together, right? And we can delete the resources together. That is what a logical grouping of resources. Now, one best practice, let me share with you. Resources having common life cycle should go under same resource group. So say in organization, you are working in a project. So generally we have various team, we have dev team, we have QA team, we have production team. So what I can do, I can create 3 resource groups. Say resource group dev loan application, Then same way I can have RG QA loan application, and we can have RG production loan application. Now what happens, understand, there are user 1 and user 2 who are my developers. So dev 1 and dev 2. So these two users will have access of only dev resource group. They will not have access of QA or production resource group. At the same way here, the user QA1 and QA2 will have access of only QA resource group. And here user admin1, admin2 will have access of only production resource group. So again, I set role-based access control on resource group. That is the one thing. Now understand, at the subscription level, I am going to define that you cannot, if you are part of this particular subscription, you cannot create a resource in, say, China. That is the policy I have defined at the level of subscription. I can do it at resource group level also, that comes under Azure governance. But here at the subscription level, we have some policy. And now you are the user. So you have, at the resource group level, I put that you can access only this resource group. And again, in this resource group, you can create virtual machine, but you cannot put it in the China due to this policy. Now, here I am going to put all the resources which are part of my development scenario of loan application, development cycle of loan application. So I can have VM development, I can have DB, I can have storage, now when development phase is done, then what I'm going to do for my QAs, I'm going to create a new resource group, say VM QA loan app, VM QA, not this, DB QA loan app. This would be the storage loan app. And same thing then there will be for the production, that is the live server. When everything is done, then even I can delete the QA part, then dev and production would be there. So this is what the resources having common life cycle should go under same resource group. I have seen in many organizations, they are not following this practice. So they create one resource group and here they put dev VM and QA VM both. And then it's difficult to manage the role-based access control and all other things. So this is what the resource group. So we understand subscription, we understand a resource group. The next thing is we have, say, region. So that is already we have discussed. So we have discussed regions. That is also clear to you. Now, when we want to create our demo here, and I want to deploy my application to the cloud. So let me talk about what type of applications we have. We have, say, app service. So what is app service? Now this is a managed service. That means this service is managed by Azure. You just take your code and you just give it to the service. It will make your code live. This is managed by Azure, right? It is a platform to host web apps, APIs, and mobile backends. Then we have one more cat service here called Azure Functions. It is a serverless compute that runs your code only when needed. It is a serverless. It doesn't mean there is no server. Server is there, but you are not aware of underlying infrastructure of the server. Server is there, but you are not aware of underlying infrastructure of the server. That means your code is hosted on 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM that you are not aware of. And you know that is fantastic thing, understand. When you deploy your logic, your code as an app service. So here you define your service capacity, what RAM, processing power, and all those things is going to use, right? But when you deploy your code as Azure function, then you're not aware of underlying server. So how it works? So here you are not going to pay as you go, you are going to pay as you consume. Now this is mind-blowing, friends. This is what you are going to pay as you consume. So if a request come to your application and it use 1 minute processing power for 1 minute, and what processing power it has consumed, you are just going to pay for that thing. So now understand, if you deploy your university website as an app service, even there is a no request, you are paying for the service because it is hosted on the Azure cloud. But if you are deploying same university website in form of Azure functions, so if a user goes to the site, do some processing and get the response. So for this fraction of second only you are going to pay money. And if Azure notice that there is a huge requests are coming on, it will automatically scale up, scale down. You are not going to worry about those servers over there. So that is your Azure functions. That is what your Azure functions over there, right? I hope it's clear. It is pay as you consume. It is very powerful. Even we can have some session on Azure functions. This is very close to my heart, right? And then we have Azure storage, as we have discussed, blob storage and all. So Azure storage is what? It is a scalable storage for files, blobs, and queues. And then we have databases. So as we see, we have Azure SQL and Cosmos DB. So understand, you can think of it like building a house. So in that case, resource group is the land, app service is the building, storage is your storeroom, database is your kitchen. And you need everything to fit together to make a home. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a resource group and a simple web application in Azure App Service. And then we are going to deploy our code to that web application. So I'm going to open Azure portal. I'm going to open Azure portal, and here it is. The URL of Azure portal is what? Portal.azure.com. So I'm logging into the Azure portal. Yes, I'm here in the Azure portal. This is the view of Azure portal, and let me give you the overview here. Here we have option for all services, and I have added few services as my favorite services. So here which I use very frequently. So I have resource group, we have virtual machines, we have app service, we have storage services here, application insights, policies, app service plan, storage account, virtual network. Networking is also a big deal, right? We are going to discuss network also. Not today, but Kubernetes services. And I can do one thing. I can go to all services. So I can show you all of them categorically. So this is what you can see. We have Azure AI and machine learning specific services. We have AI search, anomaly detector, computer vision, custom vision, face API, language service, immersive readers, document intelligence, content moderators, bot service to create the chat bot, Azure OpenAI, speed service, personalizer, translator, all the Azure AI specific services are there. If I go to compute, then here you can see we have everything specific to your virtual machine. Availability set, compute fleet, community images, compute galleries, VM images, image template, virtual desktop, virtual machine, VM application versions, lots of things are there. If I go to containers, it's all about containerization and Kubernetes. I go to databases, then we have Azure Cosmos DB, we have SQL databases, SQL virtual machine, SQL managed instances, all these services are here. We have DevOps here, DevOps specific services are there, Dev Center, Dev Test Labs, API connections, app configurations, Azure development environment, and all. So you can see everything is provided here. If I go to networking, then we have Azure Bastions, DNS, network interface, we'll have public IP addresses, route tables, IP prefix, we have network security specific services like DDoS protections, firewalls, NSG's network security group, which controls incoming traffic and outgoing traffic, IP groups, web application firewall, application gateways, load balancers, front doors, network watchers, lots of other services are there. These all are specific to networks, virtual networks and all, right? These are the storage services. We have disk, your virtual hard disk when you create the VMs, storage accounts, Azure Data Box, Elasticsearch, disk accesses, Azure Stackage, that is for hybrid cloud. So a lot of things are here. Okay. Now what I do, I want to create an app service. So I go to app service and I want to create a new web app. First of all, they say create the, so look at this thing. This is what my subscription. I am having multiple subscriptions here. I am having multiple subscriptions. So this is what my Azure subscription. Under subscription, they want me to create a resource group. Or else what I can do, I can directly first create the resource group, and that resource group I can use here as an existing resource group. Or I can directly create new resource group from here. Let me create a new resource group first. I have selected the subscription. We provide the name, say RG Expert Talk. And I'm going to host it in East US region. Now these all are the regions where my data centers are available. And Azure is going to put my workload, my code to these data centers. So here we have like South Africa, Australia East, Central Asia, East Asia, all these places where Microsoft is having their physical data center. If I search for India, so I have Central India, I have South India, I have West India. Let me go to Central India and I go to next. Here they ask us to provide tags. Tags are nothing but the metadata. It is heavily used in Azure governance, but here I can provide various tags like environment, and the value is say tag, project name, expert talk. Even later on I can use this metadata in my queries to get the information about the particular resource. In billing it is heavily used. Then we have say client name, and I just write Azure University. Project manager, Sikruna. I just go to next. I get to see all the reviews and I click on create. So yes, you can see my resource group is created. I can go to that resource group and it is up and running. As of now, I do not have any resource under this resource group. And if I just take a look here, so I get to see my subscription name, subscription ID. I have these tags here, deployment, nothing is deployed, location is Central India. Fine. Now I go to app services and I am going to create a new web app. In the same subscription, now I'm going to find out RG Expert Talk. So you can see, yes, my resource group is here. Now I have to provide my web application name. So I provide PurpleSkill Expert Talk, and this would be my domain. Even you can bring your own domain here also. Then I want to host it code, and on what environment I want, what environment I need. Now what happens, this is platform as a service. Here we get the entire platform. We are just going to host our code. We are not going to build our code here. If I want to build my code here, I have to go to infrastructure as a service. I want to deploy my code, my code, I am going with platform as a service. So here I am going to select, I want to just go for Python, say Python 3.11. And so internally Azure will create one Linux environment in the physical data center. It will give me some space with the Linux OS with Python install. Again, the region is what? Central India, which is close to my location. And this is what about the plan. Linux plan, this is all about the pricing. So now understand, if I go to this explore pricing plan, so here you can see, like if I go for something like premium V3, I get Azure Compute Unit or virtual CPU of 195, is a 2-core machine, 8 GB RAM, 250 GB storage. This is what, and I'm going to pay $119 per month. Is per month. But what I will do is, if I'm going to use it for 10 minutes and I'm going to delete it, so I have to pay for only 10 minutes. So I just select that plan here, right? I don't want to go for redundancy and everything as of now. Next, database. I don't want to create database here. Next, deployment. I'll go for all the default settings over there. Networking, by default public access is available, automatically when virtual network created, inbound rules so anyone can access it. Monitoring, I don't want to do any app insight or any monitoring or security. Tags, we know how to give tags, so that's fine, and we just go to review plus create. and create. So within few minutes, my app would be up and running. You can see it's deploying the app. I go to the app is deployed. You can see my app service is up and running, and this is the URL of my app service. This is the URL of my app service, right? Now, what I want to do first of all to deploy from the local Git, I go to configuration, and this is what my Python stack is there, Python 3.11. I just say SCM basic auth publish say on, and FTP basic authentication public also on. Yes, rest all settings are there. I just click on save and continue. Ultimately, I want to do the local deployment from my VS Code to this one, and for that I'm going to use these credentials. That is what here created. Now again, I go to deployment center here, and it says how you want to deploy. You want to use a GitHub, you want to use Bitbucket, you want to use local Git, you want to use Azure repos, or you want to do manual deployment or external Git. I want to go for local Git. So that is what, and I just click on save. When I click on save here, you can see it is going to create one local Git URL. This is my local Git clone URI. And what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to deploy, I'm going to push my code to this URI here. This is my local Git. And if I go to credentials, so let me do one thing. Let me take a note of this URI. And if I go to credentials, this is my username, and there would be a password. So I'm going to provide the password. This is what my password. I am showing you the password purposefully because in few seconds I'm going to delete it. And this is what my password. So I can remember it for later deployment. Yes, it's saved. That's fine. Now let me open my VS Code. So I have my VS Code here. I will show you this thing. And yes, if you take a look here, in my application, it is a normal folder I have created, Azure Fundamentals. I have requirement.txt file where I say I want to install Flask. So it is a Python application I have created, and I'm going to install Flask here. Now I have this app.py file. So from Flask package, I import the Flask. I set the name of my application app. The main file would be the app. And I create a function home. It is going to return hello from Azure. I say expert talk with Azure University. and I say run this application on this particular port number. This is the thing. And what we do first here is say we first install now. First we need to do pip install r requirements.txt. So what it does, it is going to install the Flask. It is already installed, but I'm just showing you this command is saying the same thing, that requirement is already satisfied. And now I'm going to run python app.py file, python let me close it and open the terminal again. I write python app.py file. So this is the application is running. This is the development server. Port number is localhost 8000, and I open it in the browser. I should see here, and yes, you can see my application is running as of now in the local machine. It's Expert Talk with SR University. I want to deploy it to the cloud, right? I want to deploy it to my URL. So now for that, what I will do here, let me stop it. And I have to fire the command to deploy, right? Now, first of all, what I will do git init, which is also initialized here, but just let me do git init. Yes. Then we do git add dot. It will add all the changes to the staging area. Git commit -n and say final commit. So even this commit is also made. Now next step is what? Next step is I have to push it to the Azure repository, right? So for that, just a minute, I have to let me open this Azure portal here again, and here this is the git clone URL where I'm going to push it, right? So what I'll do is just a minute for a second. We have everything. That's what I am checking. Okay. Where is the VS Code? Here is the VS Code. Fine. Now what I'm going to do here is I have the URL. I need to provide that URL, right? So we are going to write git remote at Azure and the URL what we have here. So this is the URL. This remote Azure already exists. So that means the previous one I have already created. It is already exists. So I cannot edit. Fine, we'll go there and we'll just push there only. So next command is git push Azure master. And when I enter this git push Azure master is asking me to provide my credential, provide my username and password. So I'm going to provide those credentials. Let me take this username, provide the password. password is not working. Okay, I have provided the wrong password. That's why. Again, let me do git push Azure master. I provide the username and the password is what? SR University at the rate 123. And done. It is pushing all the changes you can see. It has created virtual environment in Python. It's just done. Everything is done. It's pushing my code here and it's done. So now if I go to the Azure portal again, if I go to overview of the website and if I open this URL here, it takes some time. Just see, it will go live after a few seconds. It would be up and running. And if I see here, deployment logs is there. This is the university gate master is there. Let's wait for a few seconds. So to confirm it, it will take a minute or two. And yes, is running. SR University expert talk with SR University. Hello from Azure expert talk with SR University. So here you can see I just write a very simple Python application and in few minutes I make it live. You can create entire data application, your entire form, everything, and you can just make it live there, right? This is what from code to this one we did, right? Okay, fine. So this is what we understand basics of Azure. And now it's the quiz time. So give me a minute to start the quiz. Meanwhile, you guys can just stay tuned here. I'm just starting the quiz. And where is my Kahoot quiz? Yeah, it's loading. So everyone, what you need to do, you need to go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin and join the quiz. The top three winners of the quiz would get the goodies from PurpleSkill from us. So go to the game pin, go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin. You have to open in your mobile, that is also fine. Join it, you need to visit this kahoot.it. You can see on the screen. You have to go to www.kahoot.it and then enter this game pin. Giving you few 5 minutes more so everyone can join in. Okay, so we have 64 participants and we'll start the uh, our quiz now. Let me start it. Joining few more. Okay, okay, okay. Done, done, done. Quickly. If you're not joined yet, join it quickly. Three, two, one, start. So yes, 28 participants have given correct answer. Let's see. We go to next. Saiti is the first one. So please see, mark your score. Next. You want to analyze text reviews and detect whether they are positive, negative, or neutral. Name the Azure service. 19 participants have correct answer. Azure Cognitive Services is the correct answer. We go to next. Size is again top. Which Azure service allows you to build and deploy machine learning models without writing much code? It's Azure Machine Learning Studio. You want to deploy your own machine learning model, so yes, you have to go to Azure Machine Learning Studio. Okay, well done, Saiti. What type of service model is Microsoft Azure? All of the above, friends. Again, Saiti. Well done, Saiti. What is the primary benefit of Azure's pay-as-you-go pricing model? Yes, it is pay only for what you use. Ishtiaq Hussain has stopped this time. Great Ishtiaq. Which Azure service is designed to store unstructured data such as images, videos, and backups? Azure Blob Storage. That is binary large objects. Images, videos, and backups are binary large objects. So it's a race between Ishtiaq and Saiti, Gayatri. Okay, good one. Azure is available in different locations worldwide. What are these locations called? Regions. Not resource group friends. Not subscriptions. Okay, so now Saiti is little bit leading behind, but running behind. But Gayatri is there. Ishtiaq is on top. Great Ishtiaq. Which of the following is not a benefit of cloud computing on Azure? Is not a benefit. Yes, manual hardware maintenance. That's not comes to the Azure, right? Okay, so again a twist. Nemo is leading first. Ishtiaq is at the third position. In Azure, what is the resource group used for? So to group related resources for easier management. 16 people has given correct answer. Again, Ishtiaq is on top. Great, great, great chase. Which service allows you to run virtualized Windows or Linux machine in Azure? Azure Virtual Machines. Ishtiaq is on top. And this is the second last question. True or false? You must install Azure on your local computer before you can use it. False. You don't need anything, right? You just log into Azure portal and you just sign in with your account. Okay, Ishtiaq is on the top. And now the last question. Which Azure feature helps estimate the cost of using Azure service before deploying them? Yes, Azure cost management plus pricing calculator. So now let's see who is the winner. Gayatri is at third position. Vishwa is at second position. Nitya Krishan is leading it. So well done, friends. Well done. So for first three winners, we are going to send some goodies. Great. So now what I'll do, okay. will done with this thing. So now what I'll do here, please everyone, back to our Azure live session. I am going to share you the link is a form that you need to fill up. On that link, I'm going to give you, you have to fill all your details, your email address, mobile number and all. On that email address, you will get the certificate of this participation and the winners will get the goodies at their home address. So yes, this is what the link, let me do one thing. Let me directly give you the scanner so that you can directly scan to open the form. So here is the scanner, friends. Please scan it and fill the form. If you need a link, I can have it here also. In the chat box, I have also, yes, I also send the link in the chat box. Is there? I can also show the link here in our OneNote. This is the link. And yeah, link is there. Link is there. You can see in the chat box I have pasted. One more thing, friends. Please put the comments about the session, how you like the session. Even in the link, I also ask for your feedback, your survey, so that you can fill in the link about the session. But also here in the YouTube live, go to the comment section and share your thoughts about the session, share your thoughts about the quiz, share your thoughts about the Azure, right? And again, from that, we are going to pick two more random winners from your comments and we are going to give you goodies on it. So 3 winners from the quiz and 2 winners from the comment section. Go to the YouTube live comment section and put the comments over there. Two random winners from the comments will pick. Thank you so much, Manipreet. Put the comment in the comment section. 2 random winners from the comment section. And 3 winners, 3 top winners from the quiz. Done. Have you filled the form? As of now, I can see only 34 participants have filled the form. So only those will get the 38 participants, 39, 40, 42, 43, 44, 46. Okay, 46 participants have filled the form so far. Satisfied with the class? Ben Strock is mentioning satisfied with the class. Extremely interesting and nice explanation. Thank you, sir. Got valuable insight from these. Pokemon. Rutika is satisfied with the class, sir. Yash is liking writing. I am satisfied with this session. Trishul ready. He said today's session Azure was extremely informative and well structured. It's really helped me again clear understanding of cloud services. Thank you so much. Yash is saying fully satisfied. Thank you so much, sir. Rohit is like extremely satisfied with the class, sir. Thank you so much. Sujan Reddy is extremely satisfied with your explanation. Thank you so much. Hey friends, don't miss out to check all other videos on the PurpleSkill. And I'm telling you, every week we do this type of live event. Sometimes we get exam preparation session. That yesterday we did one AI 900 exam prep session. You can watch out that video also. In future, next week we have another session, and I'm in touch with Satvik, so we are going to do these type of sessions for your universities again and again repeatedly. Okay, now thank you so much. Shanvika Patel is like, thank you sir, I learned many things. Great, thank you so much, Shanvika. Harshita is like satisfied with this class, it's really helpful. Shriyata is very satisfied with the class. We have learned something about Azure. Thank you so much. Thanks, Shriyata. Chintu, thank you so much. Pokemon is like, I get really valuable insights. Thanks, Rama. Great explanation, sir. Extremely satisfied. Thank you, Kamini. Gayatri is so good and really helped me to understand everything very good. Yash is like, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, one last thing is what you have to do, what all Azure service we have discussed today. What all Azure services we have discussed today, you have to mention one service which like you the most. App service, Azure function, storage service, and database. So from these four services, app service, storage, database, and Azure functions, which service you like you the most and on which topic you want a next session. Please put that thing also in the chat box. So, which service you like you the most? Two things. Second, on which topic you want us to do the next session. Dikshita is like extraordinary class which fill my day with the Azure Microsoft. Thank you so much, Dikshita. Gayatri is saying Azure functions. Okay, Kamini is like data functions. Ishtak is talking about Azure function. Harshita is Azure functions. Pokemon is Azure function. Damanti is Azure functions. Azure functions. Okay, Manipreet is talking about Azure machine learning. Kamini's function. Yes, Azure Rocks, Azure Fires. So Azure Functions and Azure Machine Learning. What we can do, we can have one session on AI 900. That is fundamentals of Azure AI. And even what I suggest, friends, we can have one session on AZ 900, and after that you can appear for Azure certification. Imagine you are in the first year and you have your Azure fundamental certification ready with you. It gives you an extra edge, right, Madhupriya? So we'll do one session on Azure fundamental, the 1 day session, full day class, right? And one session on AI 900 also. Great, Madhupriya. Sure, we'll do on AI 900. Fantastic. Yes, Satvik. So Satvik will update you about this, Ruchita, the next session timing and all. Hey, Satvik. Yes, Satvik, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
So before we wrap up, anything you and the faculty member, sir, Mr. Ravindra, sir, would like to say something? They'd like to talk to grad students.
Sir, the session is very useful, sir. The lot of students got the idea about the Azure and the cloud computing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Sure.
So with this, we can wrap up the call. Any faculty members would like to speak? Okay, friends. Yeah, we're waiting for. Yes, Satvik. We are good to wrap up the call.
Sir, sir.
Okay. So don't forget to check out the channel Purple Skill. Even you can go to LinkedIn. You can search for Purple Skill. Search for Krunal Trivedi. And yes, this is what the credentials I show you in the
Sir, sir,
beginning.
sir.
Yes, 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 Satvik.
Sir, I am there, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So we are waiting for Satvik.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Satvik. So we'll wrap up the live now. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you so much, students. We'll again join you back very soon. Have a great weekend ahead. Take care. Sure, Madhupriya. Yeah.
Yes, sir.